participants, welcome to this online course on AutoCAD 2D drafting from basic to expert level skill course. Now here today we will proceed with new things and that we will learn today, and that is dimensioning the engineering drawing. So today we will see that how the AutoCAD can be used for showing the dimensions of the various objects. And for that purpose, now in previous session we have seen, we have created some of the mechanical drawings. 2 3 drawings are there. So how to give the dimension, so that also we will learn. So there will be total 2 sessions on this dimensioning command in the AutoCAD. So today we will proceed with the basics of the dimensions used in the AutoCAD. So I will share my AutoCAD screen. Meanwhile, you can just type S for start in the chat box, and we will proceed for the today's session. So now it is very much important that for every drawing that we create, we need to give the dimension. So for that, few things now we have to recall, and that we will see first. And that most important thing is when we give the dimension to the any object. So there the text appears. So that text should be properly visible on the drawing, and it should be properly printable also. So it should not get dimmed while making the printing of the drawing. So in all that respect, how to show the dimensions in the building drawing, for that we will first of recall some of the things, and that is important is about the using text in the AutoCAD. So we have seen that how we can use the text, multi-line text in the AutoCAD for giving the dimension to the object. So for that, again, we have to recall that how we can create the text style. So that is also one of the important thing. So now in this drawing, suppose I will just go and open a previous drawing which we have drawn in our earlier session. So I will go to open a drawing option here, and now I will just browse my computer, or we have seen save that in the AutoCAD building drawing. So we will make it here sort by date, and we will get that spanner drawing that already we have drawn in earlier previous lecture. So you can see that just I have used some of the dimensions, and as per our given drawing we have created these type of drawings are there. Now we will just try to use the dimension command here. So for that purpose, you can see that we have already seen the draw menu commands, then modify menu commands, and the next panel is that is annotation. Annotation is all about giving the dimensions to the our drawing. So in the annotation, few things already that we have seen. The first is that is the text command. So that multi-line text that we can show below the drawing. So suppose now this is a drawing and I have to give the name of the drawing. So I can go to multi-line text command, and then I will draw here a rectangular text box, and in the text box I will write whatever the name of the drawing was there. So I am giving you I will write down here, I will write in the capital front view of spanner. So that way now I have given here. So now the important thing is that this font is small. So that is the one important thing that we have to remember. So we have to adjust the font height. So for that purpose, it is very much simple that you can select this text and you can go here and you can change the justification to middle center. So that one thing you can do, that already we have seen. Another is you can increase the text height. Now you have to remember, I will now make this text height as 5 mm. So it is in mm. So now it is with this drawing, whatever that drawing I have used that dimensions in the millimeter in previous session. So I have given the name of this So this is the one of the part that is showing the title of the drawing below the drawing. So this can be done by using the text command, so that already we have seen. But now here the font is not proper. So first of all we have to make that font proper. So for that purpose already we have seen that we have to go to this annotation, and this is the first combo box where we have to change the text style. The by default is standard where the font is TXT, and now we have to use the Arial font. So therefore we have to create a new text style. So that is the first step required when you use the dimension and you want to use the font in the dimension. So in that case you can go to manage text style. So these steps now you have to remember, or you have to note down this in your notebook. And now I will go to new text style. So I will give the name of that style was style 1. So already all these things now we have learned in previous session. So I am just creating that style 1 Arial, and now here I will change the font to Arial. So this is the simple Arial font that we have to choose from the list, and this style was now created, and now we have to make it set current, and we have to make it yes, and then apply, and then close. So now we have created a one style where the font name or font is Arial. Now if you can just check out that if you want to give the name of this drawing below this. So at this time now when I will use the text command, multi-line text, and now I will just draw here a text box, and I will write down the name that I will write in the capital side view of handle, and now I will click outside, and you can see that this was the name. Now again we have to check it here, change the justification to middle center, and then change the text height to 5 mm. So you can see that now here the changes appears that the font is now Arial. So now that is the one thing that, so first of all that is required here. Now in this drawing, suppose I want to give the dimension. So for this purpose, I want to show the distance from this center to this center. So here the dimension menu was given, or you can just go here, click, this is called as here. So on the command line, it says that select an object or specify the first extension line origin. Means I can click on this origin, and I can click on this origin. I can give the dimension here, and then you can press enter to end the command. So that is the first step that you can give. So now here the 90 text was there, and there is a arrow at the both the end, and from the distance to this center to this center I have shown the distance, but this is not that much proper dimensioning. So here that also we have to understand. Now I need here the text should be in the Arial font. Now it is again using the standard font. So that is the another thing that we have to change. So here that is one of the important thing. And now you can also see that as far as this dimension of this drawing is concerned, so the arrows are appearing properly. So if you want to make some changes, so that is also possible with that. So how to do all these things? So that first of all we have to understand, and for that purpose now we will understand that there are various types of dimensions that we can give in the drawing. So first that we will understand, and then we will jump for the advanced part of the dimension command. So dimensioning is also called as that giving the annotation dimension to the drawing. So here you open this combo box. So this is one of the important command, that is linear dimension. Now you can just see that linear dimension is we have to give the dimension in the horizontal and vertical direction only. So that is called as linear direction. So the shortcut command for the linear direction, there are two shortcut command. That is, one is you can read on this, that is DIM horizontal. So dimension horizontal or dimension vertical. So whenever you want to show the dimension which is truly vertical or which is truly horizontal, in that case you have to use this linear dimension command. So when you use the linear dimension command, you can see that on the command line again the steps are what are the steps? So first you have to click the first point, click the second point, and then click the third point where you have to place the dimension. So that is the thing you have to carry out. So what I will do now here, from this center to this center, the horizontal dimension I want to show, and I will hold it, or I want to show it here little bit. So I can move this location. Means I have to click the 3 point. One is this origin, another is this origin, and third is the location of that dimension. So in this way, this horizontal dimension I have shown by using linear dimension command. And another that already we have seen, that is vertical dimension. So this dimension is also one of the linear dimension because it is a vertical distance. So you can go to this arrow and you can click on the linear dimension, and you can click from here to here. So these two centers I have clicked, and then I can place the dimension. So it is again shown 90. So this is the linear dimension. But you can see that what if you click the points, those who are not in a line. So that is also now we have to understand. Suppose now I want to show the distance from this to this, or this end to this end. So in such case, I will go to the linear dimension and I will click point on here and also here. But you can see that though I have clicked the points which are inclined, but the dimension can be shown in horizontal direction only. That you have to understand. Or you can go in this direction, vertical dimension. So that is the thing that you have to remember about the linear dimension. Linear dimension is always horizontal or vertical. But this is not needed in this case of the spanner. So I will delete this dimension. So for such purpose, the dimension command here we can use is align dimension. Align dimension means whatever the angle of that object was there, accordingly the dimension will be placed parallel to that dimension points. So here in the figure you can see that number 1 and number 2 are the 2 points where from that they are in the inclined direction, and I want to show the perfect distance between them. But that dimension line is inclined one. So in such case, we have to use the align dimension command. So here you can just click on align dimension. Now I will click this point and I will click this point, and you can see that the dimension 40 is perfectly shown exactly parallel to that or perpendicular to these lines. So in this way, we have to show the align dimension. So whenever you want to show the dimension parallel to that object, so that way you have to use align dimension command. So that is the important thing. So you can say that the linear dimension can be shown in the orthographic projection, where the most of the lines are horizontal and vertical. But where the objects are inclined and you want to show the dimension parallel to the object line, so then we have to use the align dimension. So that is the another thing you have to remember. So that is the second dimension command. Then the third dimension command here is angular. Means you can show the angle between the object. Now in this diagram you can just see that. So I have to click point number 1, point number 2, and then I have to click point number 3. So that is also the steps you can recall from these symbols, that I have to click 3 points for showing the angle. So that also now we will see here. So in the spanner we will show the angle there. So we will go to the angular dimension command, and now just you can see that vertical direction is not given here. So I will just draw first one vertical line here by using the line command, and then you can see that we can draw the dimension angle here. So this is actually the vertical line, and this angle is now 30 degree that I have taken while drawing the line. But I can show that. So by using the angle dimension, you can click on this line. So which line should we should first click? So that also you have to remember, in the AutoCAD default direction of the angle measurement is anti-clockwise. So you have to click first this line, and then on the another direction you have to click. Otherwise that angle will be going downward. So I will click here and I will click it here, means angle between the two lines I needed, and then I can move this direction angle. So where you want to show that, so you can click here, and you can see that very nicely the angle 30 degree was shown. So angle between the two lines we can show. But you have to again remember that suppose what happens, I will go first click on this line and then second click on this line. So AutoCAD will show the dimension in outer direction because the anti-clockwise start direction, that will be this line. So therefore we have to see that always we have to click the right line and then left line, so that the AutoCAD chop is going anti-clockwise direction, so it is showing proper angle. So this is possible by showing the angle. So all these angles also you can show in the for example, you can just show that them in the polygon also. So I will just draw here number of side 5, and by edge method we will draw one of the pentagon. So you can see that in the pentagon you can show the inside angle. So for that you can open this dimension command and you can choose the angular dimension, and you can click on first this line and then second this line, and then you can place this angle as 108 degree here. So in this way you can show these angles. So that is the third command in the dimension menu. Then the next command is to show the angular length. So that is also one of the important thing. So many times you can just see that on the spanner body that angular length we require. So this is required to be shown. In such case we can use this angular dimension. Now that we will use in our this spanner. So I will delete these points. Now what is the length of this arc that I want to show? So in such case I will use this arc length, and again you have to click on this arc and you have to just show that dimension. So you can see that from this point to this point along this arc the dimension is 48.5. Actually that should be a point, so it is a showing comma. So that also we will see that how this can be properly written 48.5. So in this way, for any of the circular or arc dimension, you can show the dimension of that arc. So in this drawing also, we can show the various arc dimension. So we can go to here, arc length, and now you can choose that arc and you can click outside. So that much arc length was shown. You can go to arc length and you can click on that arc and you can show the arc length here. So this is very useful command in such type of objects where the freehand drawing was there, and there you have to show the length along the arc direction. So in such case you can use this arc length. Then another important is now in this drawing also we have to show the dimension or diameter of these circles or radius of this. So whenever there is a complete circle, generally we show the diameter. So that we can use this diameter command from the dimension menu. So I will click on the diameter and then I will just click on the circle. It is related to circle and arc only. And I will just click here, and now you can just see that here the dimension was shown, that is perfect 40 degree. So phi symbol was automatically added, and that the 40 is the diameter of that circle. So that is shown, and that is a dimension, diameter dimension. It is a diameter dimension. So same can be shown to these circles also. So you can go to open this dimension menu. You can go to diameter option and click on this circle, and you can show the diameter of this circle as phi 20. So you can see that the phi symbol is automatically added to this. So that is the good thing about the dimension command. Now then, for a larger arcs, so that is it is not possible to show the dimension diameter. So in such case we can only show the radius of such arcs. So for that the command here in the dimension menu given is radius. So you can show the radius of that particular arc or a circle. So I can click on this radius and I can choose this arc, and now you can just click here anywhere. You can show anywhere here. So it is shown here. So it is again going towards the automatic center, and then the radius R word is added and it is the radius 40. So 40 mm is the radius of this arc. So that way you can show the arc dimension in the drawing. So we can try for this also. So we can open the dimension menu, go to radius option and click on this arc and click inside. So you have to also remember that whenever we show the radius, that we have to show inside, and when we have to show the diameter, then we have to show it outside. Though also you can show the diameter inside also in many cases. So you have to drag this diameter value inside the circle. So you can just click it here. So in there also you can just see that it is going inside, but it is not getting properly fitted. So again, it is always go outside. So depending upon the dimensions available of that object, so diameter is shown outside the circle and radius is shown inside the arc. So that also you have to remember. So this is the another command. Then the important is again, we can also show the ordinates. So ordinates, that is the create the ordinate dimension. So in such case, you can just see that in the diagram, we have given the zero line at the bottom and then the vertical zero line on the left. So according to any point that you can click, so ordinate dimension measures the horizontal and vertical distance from an origin point, which is called as datum. So such as any start point or any origin point, and with that we can show the ordinate. So generally this is required in the for the CNC drawings, where that we have to mark the coordinate of the hole for various drawings or various cut parts. So there we will see that in the upcoming lectures details about the ordinate command. And then another is a jog dimension. So for a larger radius, we have to show the jog radius. It is called as jogged radius. So in that case, we can use this jog radius option. So you can see that this is a larger arc. So I will click this arc, and now you can just click here to show the center. Now this is the center, and now you can just see here, you can show the jog radius. So means I have shown this point as a center of this arc, and this is the 90. So this line is a jogged line. This line is called as jogged line. So for a larger arc, we can show this jogged radius. So that is also one of the important command. So in this way, you can just see that this type of dimensions we can give to this object. So same objects, that dimension we can show it here. So I have just shown here the 40 dimension, then the also angle I have shown. Suppose I want to show the radius of that. So then I can go to the radius option, and you can click on this arc and show the radius inside. Again, go to the radius option, show the radius of these two inside. Again, go to the radius and show the radius inside here, 23. So all these things automatically was shown because that the drawing that we have used perfect dimensions. So again, you can show the radius of this fillet here. So that is R55. And again, you can show the radius of this R55. And then you can show the radius of this arc, that is again R30. So in this way, you can give the dimension. Then we have to show the width of this spanner. So again, this is a horizontal line. So you can choose linear dimension, and you can show the dimension from this to this end as 34. That is the perfect dimension that we have used for that. So yeah, that there this dimension is horizontal. So we have to use linear dimension option. And then angular dimension already that we have seen here. In such case, we can show the angular dimensions, and in that way, for this handle also, we can show the various dimensions. So you can again go to the radius option. So most of the options are available. Automatic radius you can show here. Then again go to the radius option. You can show the radius for this arc. So R60. And then here you can show the dimension. So with this, there are another few commands are there that we will see, that is leader dimension. So leader, that also we have to add the arrow. So you can see that in this dimension 1, 2, 3, that you can show the number. So it is indicating the each number to that object. So in such case, we can add a leader dimension. It is also called as a leader, means that arrow line showing towards the object. So in the building drawing, we have to name the various parts of the drawing. So in such case, we can use the leader dimension. So it is a simple command. You can just click on the leader. So when you click on the leader, so command line says that specify the leader arrowhead location, means which object I want to give the name. So I will just click here. Now this here I want to show the arrow. Then specify the leader landing location, means I will use this line up to this direction, and then I will click here and I will write down the name of that. So it is a handle. Yes, and you can close editor. So you can just see that in this way, this dimension was, this object was shown with the dimension. But here, although the sizes were not proper, so you can increase the whatever the text height was there. So you can edit this in the grip option. So you can lengthen this line also little bit. You can then grip adjust this horizontal line, and then you can just stretch this distance. Yes. So this arrow you can use to adjust that. And then here, suppose it is very little longer, so you can just choose it again here. So accordingly, here you can see that on a leader, so arrow is automatically added at this end where it is touching to the object. And then this is a horizontal line, so automatically this leader line was shown, and you can write down the text to give the nomenclature. But here the title, the font is not proper, so you can just always check this font from this option. So you can go to the text style, you can change the text style also. So if I will go here and use the style 1 Arial, so you can just see that the name was automatically changed. So, and if you want to increase the size of the arrow, so here this arrow is also, you can increase the size. So in the arrowhead, you can see that the arrowhead is given that size is 0.18. So I will make it suppose 0.4 and press enter. So you can see that the arrow was increased. So you can make up to 0.5 also, 0.5, enter. So this is the arrow size you can adjust in the leader. So leader is the use to show the various text offset. So this is very much useful, and at the multiple places we have to show the name of the object in that. So for that purpose you can use but obviously in this handle drawing, whatever the dimensions was there, so that leader is also very much small and the text is also very much small. So we have to revise this sizes of this leader. So that is also one of the important command. You can draw a leader from this. So this is all about the dimensioning by dimensioning the object. Now just we will all use all this in our building drawing for the sake of convenience. So quickly I will just save this drawing, and then I will close this drawing, and we will create a new drawing. So I have created new drawing here, metric, and okay. And now we will just create one of the room. So there I will just use the rectangular. So at room size that we have to use, that is 3000, 3600, means 10 feet by 12 feet room I am drawing. And then I have to click the zoom extend command. So this is zoom extend. So it is room is now inside the screen. And now I will offset by wall thickness 230. Click. So offset distance 230, offset the here, and then you can just show the door. For suppose here you want to show the door. Now you want to cut the door. So you can offset the door dimension as 900 and you can cut it here. And now then we can trim the line, this one. So this is a room created. Suppose you want to show the window and all this. So that is also possible here. So that we can show here in this, but instead of that, just I want to show the steps. So again I will go here, the dimension will be 230 on this side, and then I have to show the steps, 2 steps, so 600, and you can make the object snap tracking, and then you can draw these steps here. So these steps I have shown. Now in this way, this is the one small room and this is the steps. So this is one door, and then can be a window also you can show. So this is very much possible. But now my point is that try to give the name to this object. So first of all, what I will do, I will write down the name of the room inside this. So for that, I have to use the text command, multi-line text. Now I will draw one text box here and I will write down here the name of that drawing is that is bedroom and size is 3.00 by 3.60. Suppose this was I have shown and I will click outside. So you can see that with this dimension of this building, the text dimension is very much small. So that is the another important thing that you have to remember. So whenever in the building drawing, you will draw the text. So we have to adjust the text type. So you can also see that the important difficulty that we are facing is the text is not visible. So first of all, we have to increase the height of the text. So I will go to this property panel and I will make this as 250 instead of 2.5. Just now I have made it 250. Now you can just drag this much little bit. So you see that this is now properly placed. Then another also what we want, this should be exactly at the center of this room. So for that purpose, again, you have to change the alignment of this text and you can make it to middle center. Now this was shifted again. So again, we have to adjust it. So for that purpose, what I can do, I can draw one diagonal here to here. And I can then drag this center of this text to the center of this diagonal. And now press escape and now delete the diagonal. So in this way, this text was exactly made at the center of the room. But in all that, the font is not proper, so that you can choose here and you can change the style. That is standard style we can go for. So there is no any style. So that is also one of the important problem, because in the earlier drawing we have created the text style, but here we have not created the text style, so that we cannot use the Arial font. So that is another difficulty. Now suppose now here we will try to show the dimension or that width of this. So suppose the width of the steps I want to show. So I can go here and I can show linear dimension. So in the linear dimension, I can click it here to here and I can show the dimension here. So you can see that the dimension is shown, but here the arrow head is very much small and then the dimension text is very much small and the font is also not proper. And in that way, we face the problem that we cannot understand that which is the object line and what is the dimension line. So either way, you can also make some changes in the color of the dimension line. So that is also possible, but then also it is not get distinguish the object line and the dimension line. So there are 2-3 difficulties while showing the dimension in the building drawing. And for that, you have to remember that there should be a particular solution. Means once we have started dimensioning in the building drawing, so it should be properly appear in the building drawing. So see here in earlier drawing, now whatever that drawing I have seen here, we can just sorry, our drawing earlier drawing was this one. So because the dimension of these drawings are in millimeter, so then therefore these dimensions are proper here, because the drawing is small and that is in the millimeter, or you can say that this is the 1:1 scale. So this 34 mm is the dimension of the spanner, and I have taken the 34 millimeter as the object dimension here while preparing that drawing. So because the scale is 1:1, so this dimension is appearing properly here. But in our building drawing, now whatever that we have drawn, so the size of the drawing was larger, because the distance from this point to this point is 3000 millimeter, means 3 meter. So suppose I will try to show the outer dimension of this room and I will use the dimension of command. So linear dimension, I will go and I will click from here to here. So you can see that the dimension I can show, but it is not appearing properly. The dimension is 3460. So 230 this side, 230 this side. So that is okay. But it is not appearing properly when we view the drawing. So the dimensions are not shown. So dear friends, this difficulty now we have to overcome. And for that purpose, tomorrow in the important lecture, sorry, not on tomorrow, but on the day after tomorrow, In the next lecture, we will see or learn about how to show the proper drawing dimensions in the building drawing. That is our important target. So this drawings text height and then font of that text and the size of the arrow and size of the line or the color of that line or the font of this name room and all these difficulties, they are always appear in the building drawing. So you have to know, you have to understand the correct way of giving the dimension in the building drawing. So that part we will cover in the next lecture. So till then, if you are having any difficulty, you can type your difficulty in the chat box, or then after few minutes, then we will close the today's session. So if you are having any doubt or any difficulty you want to ask, so you can type your question in the chat box, and then that question we will address on the upcoming next lecture. And with that, we will understand how the dimensions is given to the building drawing object. Another important thing is that now I have shown you today the small thing that how to create one room. So with the dimension of that room size was 3 meter by 3 meter by 3.6 meter. So 10 feet by 12 feet with the wall thickness of 230 millimeter. So you just try at your home the one room plan showing the door, window and the steps and the sajja. And in that, how we can show the dimension in the proper way. So that thing we have to learn, and that detail secret about the proper dimensioning technique for building drawing, that we will learn in the next lecture. So till then, thank you for joining this today's online class. See you in the next lecture. Till then, you can just type your feedback in the chat box before closing this Zoom meeting. So you can type here, see you, goodbye, thank you, good, better, best, or liked or dislike, whatever is the feedback was there. Just type your feedback in the chat box, and then I will close the today's session.